De Zerbi has arrived in London and has delivered his first video to all the Tottenham Hotspur fans. Defoe, Robertson and Sandro give their views on the new Spurs bus. Opta have stated that Tottenham have 27.47% chance of going down, and a full international roundup. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. This is the daily Tottenham news with me, Lee. Here to go through all the reports, rumours and news making the headlines today. If you're new around here and you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do consider doing that. Comment in the comment section below, like and share. If you're listening on audio platforms, please do hit the follow button and leave a review if you can. So, a busy day of reports and rumours today, so let's kick it off. So Sky Sports have reported that the Spurs players are excited to work with De Zerbi. The new Spurs boss arrived in the UK on Wednesday. Sky have stated that the Italian will start work with the full squad on Friday when everyone has returned from international duty. It is understood that Spurs players are very excited at the prospect of working with De Zerbi. There are no plans for the ex-Brighton boss to have a press conference this week. The 46-year-old wants to have a week to work with the players, assess his options and prepare for his first game at Sunderland next Sunday. De Zerbi's first press conference is likely to be next week ahead of the Premier League game at the Stadium of Light. The club has released a short video on Wednesday evening. New head coach Roberto De Zerbi addressed the Tottenham Hotspur fans. He said the following: "Hello to the Tottenham fans. I'm very happy to stay here with you. For me, it's an honour and I'm very proud to be your coach. I want to give my best. I want to stay for a long time in this big club. See you soon." Jermaine Defoe joked that he has turned down the Spurs job for Woking. He has also given his views on Tottenham appointing Roberto De Zerbi. "Yeah, I did actually. Obviously, you always want to wish the teams that you play for the best. He's someone that comes in with an unbelievable CV. When you look at his playing style, as football fans, you have to appreciate and enjoy the way they play. I remember the De Zerbi Brighton team, watching Brighton play, thinking, wow, this is the right way to play football. He's going into a massive football club, but he's someone with a good CV and someone that backs himself. I just hope this group of players can respond and get the results they need. A lot of the players haven't experienced this before. The fans and the club have not been through this situation before. Hopefully they can come out of it. And with this manager, I'm sure he's good enough to get the results that they need." Former Spurs goalkeeper Paul Robinson says the new head coach Roberto De Zerbi's football over the next 7 games might not be pretty, but then he can improve. Talking on BBC's Radio 5 Live's Football Daily podcast, Robinson said, "It's a good appointment for Tottenham. He's a manager who doesn't care what people think. He is his own man. He's delivered under pressure. The only problem he's had are with the ownership and director of football are pulled in different direction. Then the project for him unravels very, very quickly. When you look at the job he did at Marseille, the city was very much behind him, but the decision making at the top was not, and maybe he was guilty of changing systems and personnel too much towards the end of his tenure. His initial remit at Tottenham is to keep them in the Premier League. He can't go in there and change the dressing room. He can't change the players. He's very intelligent with his football knowledge and he will know he's got to go in there and make friends. He's got to make every player play for him, every player like him and come together as a team to get results. Then at the end of the season, he can be ruthless and he will have assessed the club and the squad himself already. He'll know exactly what he wants to do in the summer, but in the short term, it might not be pretty. He might go against his style. In the long term, he'll play open, expansive, high-pressing football, but for now, it might be kicking it long and putting it in the corners. It's just about getting through this and starting again next season as a Premier League club. Tottenham finished 17th and are fighting relegation this year. If they stay up, he can only improve. It's a great project at a fantastic club for him to improve. Former Spurs midfielder Sandro on De Zerbi's arrival at Tottenham. To be fair, I always thought that Roberto would be a manager for us. When I met him and when I played for him in Italy, because I liked Tottenham, straight away I thought this would be the manager to put Tottenham at the highest level. I'm so happy because this came true and he's here now. It's a huge moment for us, an important moment for us, and he's the right one to be there for me, no doubt. I wish him the best of luck. I will support the team and always and with him. It's a pleasure to watch and see what he does. You guys will love him. He suits us with this style of play. He's got the passion, vision and intelligence. I am becoming a manager now because of him, because of what he did with me in Benevento. In that moment, I said I want to be a manager because I really trusted the work this guy does. He is so passionate and I'm so excited to see him at Spurs. It's a great feeling. Sandro and what he did to make such a strong impression on him. He gave us, the players, everything we needed for the game. Each game is different and the way he approached every game was amazing. The players need to trust in him. I will say that they will trust him because they will see the results of his work. In my first game with him, I felt that the game was easier because I knew everything that was coming, because we did it in training. It was amazing. His strength is to give the players what the game needs. He gives that every day in the training sessions. With De Zerbi, 5 minutes in a training session matters because he wants every minute to be important. For him, he will use these 5 minutes with reason. Everything matters. Sandro on what can De Zerbi do for the Spurs squad. We have good players. With Benevento, when I met him, we didn't have top players. Some had okay players and he turned them into good players. He can help with the level of all the players and they will fall in love with him, no doubt. I know football. I was at Brighton when I did my coaching internship with him and the players liked him. The players that we have will love to work with him. For me, it was a pleasure to learn from him at Brighton. I was there 5 months. He opened up the door for me and I was glad to have that chance. I watched every training session, every game, and wow, it was amazing. I was his player before, his captain, and we spoke a lot about football. So to see him in the Premier League, I always liked the feeling and wanted him to sign with Spurs because I love Spurs. The moment is now. It's a huge moment for us and I'm glad because he's the right one to suit our style. You will see in the games the passion that he has. Everything he does, you will understand because he really loves football. On his first-hand experience of his character, he's got energy, he's got passion. I was his captain and we were talking every day about football. You don't have to be afraid. He's very intense, I will say that. And the players need to be prepared because he will demand focus in the training sessions. He will ask everybody to be ready, but this is nice. This is what we love as players, to work with someone who pushes us upwards and teaches us. So I'm very excited to see him at work. I was 29 years old and he improved me, made me come to every single session with excitement. I told him this and he said, "You are one of my best managers." He laughed at me, but it was true. What's it like watching him at Brighton? It's funny because his game at home in the Premier League for Brighton was against Tottenham and I was there in the stadium. I sent him a message to say congratulations to the Premier League and he invited me to be at the game. It was his second game, just like it will be this time, Spurs against Brighton. His first game was Liverpool away, a 3-3 draw, but the second game was against Tottenham at home. It was difficult for me because it's my club, Spurs. Spurs won 1-0, Harry Kane scored. I was sat in with the Brighton fans when Harry scored. It was a tricky situation because I love Tottenham, but I couldn't celebrate inside. I was celebrating though. Moving on, Opta have quoted that Tottenham have a 27.47% of getting relegated. Hopter has stated that Wolves have a 99.94% chance, Burnley at 99.90%, West Ham at 56.94%, Tottenham at 27.47%, Nottingham Forest at 8.48%, Leeds at 7.20%, and Crystal Palace at 0.0%. Now just on to the international roundup. Archie Gray scored a key goal for England as England strengthened their position in the UEFA Under-21 Championships, qualifying with a 4-1 win against Moldova at Norwich City's Carroll Road on Tuesday night. It was a fine strike as well. Archie striding in onto the ball 16 yards and planting a fierce drive into the roof of the net. Archie was substituted on 78 minutes. Ashley Phillips also started and completed the full match. Lucas Bergvall came off the bench to play a key role in Sweden's dramatic qualification for the FIFA World Cup 2026 on Tuesday evening. The midfielder entered the fray on 69 minutes of the European playoff final, which Sweden won 3-2. He was involved in the side scoring the winning goal 2 minutes from the end. Lucas Bergvall, talking about the teammate Dejan Kulusevski, he said, "Of course the goal is for him to come back to the World Cup. He is part of this 100%. On Tuesday, Jamie Donnelly scored for Northern Ireland in a 1-1 friendly draw against Wales. Also on Tuesday, Dominic Solanke came off the bench after 58 minutes as England searched for an equaliser against Japan at Wembley, despite some nice touches around the box and helping set up the Three Lions' best chance for Marcus Rashford. It wasn't to be, as Mitoma's 23rd strike proved enough. England lost the game 1-0. Jed Spence was an unused substitute. Xavi Simons started and played 78 minutes in the Netherlands 1-1 draw against Ecuador. Mickey van der Ven came on for the second half in Rotterdam. Pedro Porro started and completed a full shift in Spain's goalless draw against Egypt. Rado Jagusin also started and played 62 minutes as Romania suffered a 2-0 loss against Slovakia, with Kevin Danso remained as an unused substitute as Austria beat South Korea, with Heung-min Son leading the line 1-0 in Vienna. Christian Romero started and completed the full 90 minutes as Argentina beat Zambia 5-0. And just to finish off on the international news, Dejan Kulusevski on his injury and hoping to be at the World Cup. There are 2 or 3 months left and I haven't played in a year. I know what the chances are, but if there is a person on this planet who can do it, I would bet on myself 100% I will be healthy for the World Cup. Well, great for him to talk about the World Cup. I'd love to see him 100% get back for Tottenham before the end of this season. Whether that's going to happen, that's another matter, isn't it? But yeah, it would be fantastic news if he was to do that, bearing in mind he's been limping only a couple of weeks ago. So yeah, really, really interesting. Lots and lots to get through there. Lots of different stuff. Of course, we'll start off with De Zerbi. He's now in England. He's over. He is going to do his work with the squad starting on Friday. Gives him a good week before the game, and then he'll be able to do his first press conference on the weekend before, the few days before. I'm sure that'll be a really interesting one to see, because obviously he'll have a chance to see the squad and so on, and I'm sure there'll be lots of discussion around that. What does he make of it, or what does he see the problems are? And I'm sure that they will put him under immense pressure for sure. Seen the short video, just a little video saying a lot of the good stuff that they normally say. We've seen it so often, haven't we, as Tottenham fans, with so many managers coming in and going out. We see these comments all the time. Everyone's really grateful to be there. Everyone's proud to be there. Everyone wants to do a great job and stuff. 18 months later, they're leaving with their tail between their legs. I'm hoping that this time, if he does well, that this isn't going to be one of those, and we're going to see a decent bit of tenure from De Zerbi, and hopefully some silverware and some improvement. Of course, got to stay up. That's the main task for now. So I'm hoping for that. Let's survive, and then let's worry about where we go from there. But the fact that he keeps quoting that he's signed for a long time kind of suggests that the plan is for him to be here for a long time, and that's where his focus is. Just moving on to Jermaine Defoe, and I'd just like to say massive congratulations to Jermaine Defoe for picking up the Woking manager's job. Fantastic for him. I'm sure he'll be a success there, and let's hope that he can progress his career and become a top class manager, because he's a brilliant guy and a fantastic servant to Spurs, and it would be great to maybe one day have him as our coach, a young man who spent a lot of time with the club. So yeah, congratulations to him. What can I say about his comments really? Apart from a lot of resounding support for De Zerbi, and that's what you'd kind of expect. The only bit I'm a little bit unsure when he talks about his CV, having a fantastic CV. I'm not sure. Good football, tick, but in terms of silverware and stuff, which is what Tottenham fans really want, because it's been so long since we've had sustained success. I'm not seeing that yet, but then we saw that with Pochettino, and yet we had probably some of our best times. So let's see where we go from there. I think the more interesting one really comes from Sandro, who is massively over the moon. He's some good quotes in there talking about how he's really focused, and how he works really well with players, how he inspires and all that kind of stuff. So really pleasing to hear that, because I think man management is the main thing that seems to be lacking in this team. They've tried the Thomas Frank approach, pragmatic and all that, and then they've tried the disciplinarian. Neither of those have worked. So now maybe it's a time to have a balance of both. And if you can get those players wanting to play for you, wanting to win for you, you're halfway there. I remember as a young man, when I first became a manager myself, a guy called Steve Carr, he said to me, you can make people do the task. You can tell them, I want you to go over there and do X. He said, and they'll do it because they have to do it because you're the manager. But what you want is to be able to say to the guys, would you mind going over there and doing X for me? And if they want to do it, they'll do it more. They'll put more effort into it. They'll do it better. They'll do it quicker. They'll do it to a better standard. And I think that's important in all aspects of life. Whether it's business or football, sport or whatever. If you've got a manager, you want your players, your employees, your people to want to go there with you. That you want them to want you to take them there, to develop them, to move them forward. Paul Robinson, in terms of his comments, I think he's right. He may not be able to instill his style of football for sure straight away. This is about survival. Forget anything else. This is about survival. We need to survive in the Premier League, else we are in big trouble, and we don't want that. So let's just concentrate on that. It doesn't have to be pretty. It just has to be effective. And like I say, now having some players coming back, I understand that Kudus may be back, and of course he's got some players that Tudor didn't have available to him. Your Bergvals and so on. So maybe he will have enough to inspire those players to really fight for the badge and do what needs to be done to stay in there. But yeah, really interesting. And I think Sandro has been linked with a role in the coaching staff at Spurs, which is maybe why he's talking so highly. Maybe he's trying to talk himself into a job. On a positive front though, the Opta stats talking about Wolves and Burnley being 99.90 and 99.94% likely to go down. Yeah, we kind of see that they're bottom two. It looks like it's between West Ham, Tottenham and Forest to go down. It's interesting that the difference between Tottenham going down and Nottingham Forest going down is massive. It's best part of 20%. But then there's like 30% between Tottenham and West Ham, and there's only a point difference between West Ham and Tottenham. And there's 2 points between Tottenham and Nottingham Forest. So I'm not sure how they make these stats up. But at the end of the day, the fact that we are 27.47% is a bit better than obviously being in there. But if West Ham win on Friday and we lose on Sunday, we are in the bottom three, and that's a big mental issue in my view. We need West Ham to lose for sure, because going into that game at the weekend with in the bottom three is even more pressure, and that's just something we really don't need. Really don't need. So a bit of a concern. Just going through the international stuff, as I've said previously, I'm not a massive fan of international football. England fan, obviously, seeing us lose against Japan is really disappointing. Solanke not producing anything. Jed Spence not getting in on the bench, and all the other players not really making such a massive deal. The big one, I guess, is Archie Gray scoring for under 21s, which is great for him, great for his confidence as well. So England under 21s going great guns, which is positive news. Maybe we should just move straight to the 21s and ditch the full internationals. So interesting across there. Plenty of players getting lots and lots of minutes here and there, which will keep their fitness up, and that's all good news. And luckily, it seems no one's coming out with any kind of injury. So really, that's probably the biggest benefit that we can get out of these internationals going forward. So there's your news for today. Anyway, that's the end of the video. Thanks you for watching. It's great to have you here. If you've enjoyed the video, please do give us a thumbs up. If you've got something you wanna say, if you've anything you want to talk about, please do leave it in the comments section below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Follow on audio platforms, and leave a review if you can. As I said at the beginning, my name is Lee, leader Dorset Spur. Do have my own channel, and so if you like the kind of stuff that I'm doing, then please do consider coming across and giving me a sub as well. It will be great to have you there. But until the next one, thanks for watching, and as always, up the Spurs.